So let's look at the fighters and jet engines first. Um, Look, certain I put this. We can discuss. I put 10 points
Yes.
into this, and we have to discuss this. Let me go through the 10 points, and then I'll invite your thing, and we'll
Yeah.
look. We looking at nothing is going to enter new in your service to increase your capabilities for the next 10 years.
You're looking at a 10-year gap, is it?
You tell me if there's anything which is going to come before 10 years.
Assuming that we sign whatever deal that we have, the Rafale deal, we should get the first fighters, and yeah, in less than 10 years. If the
Okay.
LCA Mark 1A and the Mark 2s come in, I think those will uh, they will start to be delivered. But I'm assuming you're talking about the AMCA here for
Look,
the
AMCA probably goes much beyond this,
beyond the
much
10
beyond
year.
it, right? If you even if you the rate of production and everything, by the time you come to a reasonable rate of production, the first off might come within the next 5 years.
Right.
Okay, after that it will take another 5 years. You have to exist, and remember the second bullet. Also look at this. Your fighter fleet will reduce because certain
Yes.
fighters are aging. So your
Right.
inflow and your outflow will not
There's a
match.
mismatch. Yeah.
Mismatch. So you're going to reduce in the next 10
Right.
years. So you have to, I mean, the way I look at it, you have to continue with your current procurement efforts. There's no doubt about it. You have to continue with the current development of engines, and that also have no doubt, right? But I'll put it this way, because if you want an AMCA, you're still searching for an engine for the AMCA.
Yes.
And there are other things also. Your electronics also is something which you're not very clear. It's just not the engine. So I think you need to have an empowered body to manage the fighter aircraft process.
Right. Both the jet engine and the program.
The See, yes, the engine program, if needed, we might have to take some go into a upgrade, which will give you a low cost upgrade, which will extend certain lives. And it should be, you know, and one has to take an overview and holistic view and undertake it as a national mission. Because today, yes, the Indian Air Force is responsible for everything, but when you look at analyze the statements coming out of the Indian Air Force, the HAL, the MOD, and others actors in this whole chain, you feel that there's no one single body who got the hand on the steering wheel.
Yes.
I mean, you can always say the MOD is responsible for everything, but how is it responsible, or how is it going to execute its responsible? I, I don't see that. So I feel that the time has come when empowered body has to be put in place to manage the fighter aircraft process. The equivalent of that is 30 years back, we went into something called the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program.
Yes. IGMDP.
And the IGMDP within 5 years started producing results. So, is there a case for us to get hold of an integrated fighter development program?
Right.
Okay, is the thing which we need to really think. And I want your views on that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I was going to add that very quickly. We have another great program, which is the Advanced Technology Vessel Program (ATVP), which has delivered the
Yeah,
4 Arihant class submarines. Now, there also we started 4 decades ago. We were in a we had no idea about the kind of capabilities that we would need. So, therefore, this organization was created, headed by a retired 3-star from the Navy. The Navy drove the project. Even today, 90% of the manpower in the ATV program, 1,000+ people, are all from the Indian Navy. So you have the Indian Navy as one organization, you have the DRDO as a second organization, you have the Atomic Energy Commission, which builds the reactors, as the third organization, and you have the private sector and the entire, all the industries, the complete industrial network that you have set up to supply this thing, all indigenous. So the more than 80-90% of the submarine is indigenous, which is a remarkable feat. 6,000 ton, 7,000 tons, and now 13,000 ton submarines are all indigenous, 80%. So I think these projects are very, very good, to understand how we can do it. And absolutely, like I completely agree with you. You cannot have a jet engine program or a fighter engine program in the current way the things are moving. In all
Yeah.
little silos, like the entire weight of developing the jet engine is the responsibility of the GTRE, Gas Turbine Research Establishment. As someone
It
in
can't be.
government was saying, he's not even a DG. So immediately that protocol issue is there. Ye kaun hai? He's not in a DG. He's not equal to a secretary, a full secretary. So things like that. So, but General Shankar, I'm very interested in knowing about the IGM-DP from you because you were part of the Prithvi program.
Yeah.
Just
Look,
tell us how that was structured and why it delivered in 5 years.
look. The IGMDP was basically headed by the DRDO. Okay,
Right,
but the army we had fully bought into it. Army was incorporated into it horizontally and vertically. I was just a major. I was at the base level. I was just there. I was the first officer posted in DRDL those days.
right,
And for me, this working in an environment like that was completely out of my syllabus, right? And for them also, it was out of syllabus to get an army officer hanging around there. But one
right,
learnt, and over a period of time, I learned, and the payoff came much later when I had to induct a lot of missiles and rockets into
right,
the artillery,
right.
and it also guns,
Yes,
because I broke a lot of silos with the DRDO and DRDL and everything. And the structure was parallel structure. On one side, I think it was the secretary DRDO. The other side, it was the vice chief. Both hands-on, and the expertise was driven by Abdul Kalam because he had the capability. See, he had come with the success of from ISRO,
hmm.
or the basic
Right, right,
flight vehicle SLV-3.
right,
Right, he had the success of that. He came and brought that culture of ISRO culture in, and
right,
started the whole process. A new that lab was re-energized, the DRDL. Then these 5 projects were taken: Akash, Prithvi, your Agni, Prithvi, Akash, Nag, and
Nag,
Trishul.
Trishul.
Nag and Trishul. Uh, of course, some of them, the first thing, the PSLV converted that technology. We had everything went into Prithvi, and Prithvi took off and went off. Then, because we had the know-how, Prithvi is
Yes,
separate. What is the Agni? The first Agni which was flown, the first stage was the PSLV, and the second stage
PSLV.
was Prithvi. It was a PSLV, a Prithvi mounted on a PSLV became Agni, which went to 600 kilometers. But we had a idea of what to do. And there
Hmm.
was a firm hand steering this whole story in the form of Abdul
Right,
Kalam.
right.
Right? The centerpiece was Abdul Kalam because he was the knowledge element.
Hmm.
And he put together a team, and the team till today, we are in touch. Just day before yesterday, Mr. VG Shekharan and I had a talk with each other. Now, who was VG Shekharan? VG Shekharan was literally the guy who drove Agni program,
Right.
and he retired as and everyone knows who's Vijay Shekharan in the missile circles. He's a doyen. And yesterday, day before we rang up, he says, "Yeah, Shankar, I'm in Chennai. Why don't you come and meet me?" I said, "Yeah, I wish you had told me. I'm stuck now. I can't come." Oh, he says, "Okay, next time I come, we'll come." And I said, "Where are you?" He said, "Look, I'm in Hyderabad and all that." I said, "Yeah, you're a Tamilian sitting in Hyderabad. I'm a Telugu fellow sitting in Chennai. But that's how life is." See, we had that kind of a teamwork.
Right. After nearly 4 decades.
4 decades. I still speak to General Vijay Sundaram, who was my project director of Prithvi. Okay. And he's 94 years old. And once in a while, I exchange talks with him. So that teamwork and that capability which was built up in that thing has seen us through even now. This
Right,
gentleman, Satish Reddy. Satish Reddy joined us in front of me as a scientist B.
right,
And that paid off later on when we had to convert the unguided Pinaka into a guided Pinaka. and we could achieve it in 1 year, from a guided to unguided to a guided Pinaka, 1 year flat, without a project being sanctioned. We fired. The problem in this whole story was that our bureaucracy delayed everything. Otherwise, within 1 year, the research was done, the designing was done, and the first missile was fired. So, unless you have an empowered body, and in fact, in the guided Pinaka program, Satish Reddy told me, look, unless you empower this whole team, you cannot do. How do you empower a team where you don't, not even a project is not sanctioned? So I empowered myself by saying I am the head of this whole lot. Every month I'll be in Hyderabad to go through a review. Everyone used to come and say, even if he had to say no, nothing to report, he would come and stand in front of me and say, I have nothing to report. And I would ask him, why you have nothing to report? He had to answer that, right? Now it's very difficult for a person to come and say, I have nothing to report. So it became a thing that the first time when I went, 50-80% of them said had nothing to report. But from the
Right.
second time I went, second month, everyone had something to report. It became a positive thing, and that's how you have the guided Pinaka, which came out so fast and it's
Right.
inducted.
Right.
So you have to empower this body. An empowered body will always drive the system. Okay, and for that, I feel that the IAF has to be given full responsibility and authority.
Right. Absolutely. Services have to drive these programs.
You can't have the HAL, chap given. In fact, I would say put the HAL completely under the IAF, just like all your dockyards,
Yeah.
shipyards are under the
Under the Indian
Navy.
Navy. Yeah.
If
They're headed by
all these
retired
are,
naval officers.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's up to the IAF how to do
Yeah.
it. Okay, I think it's between the IAF and the government, because it's the Indian Air Force and the government of India who are responsible to the people of India, not DRDO,
Right.
not all these people. They're not
Yes.
responsible. Okay, that's my view. And of course, you have to go all out for an engine.
Yes. There's
Okay,
also this view, General Shankar, that maybe are we putting the cart before the horse? As in, we are looking at an AMCA which is going to fly with an interim engine, and then we are simultaneously going to be developing the fifth generation engine, which will then come in to plug into the AMCA. Isn't this very convoluted? This whole process. Why not
look,
just go
that's
with
the
a
point. I
main
think
engine? Yeah.
that is where the Air Force has to come and say, this is how we're going to develop it.
Right.
Today, the Air Force is only interested in having an aircraft.
Yes.
Okay, they say, give me an aircraft whichever way you want. I mean, this is what I gather from all public statements.
Yes.
I don't know what the actual structure is. Okay, so they have to say, this is mine. I have to do it. Let me manufacture it. Again, I go back to my own experience, artillery.
Yeah.
Artillery was in dumps. I said, yeah, it doesn't matter what, I will do it. I will get my gun out. I will get this thing. I will succeed. And today we've transformed artillery. It is big. When I say I am talking of a whole lot of guys, collective responsibility. So you take a collective responsibility, and we have cases. Or even our air defense has transformed to a large extent, but limited, but hell of a lot. Right? So you have examples, and I think the ministry should very clearly tell the AIF, yeah, it is. Nominate a 3-star, 4-star, whatever star you want. Those stars don't count to me. Nominate a guy, and that guy should have the confidence of the Air Force. He should have the confidence of the MOD and the backing. Once these two happen, the rest is QED. Let me tell you, this is again my personal example. The day Mr. Manohar Parikar empowered me, he said, in your tenure of 2 years, how many guns will you deliver? This is a question he asked me. I said, sir, I'll deliver 4 guns. And I delivered 4 guns. And it was day and night he was after me for that.
Right.
So
Which
I
guns were
think,
these? The Dhanush or
yeah,
M777?
we're talking of Dhanush, we're talking of
Dhanush.
M777, you're talking of Dhanush, you're talking of M777, you're talking of K9 Vajra, you're
Yeah.
talking of Sharang.
Yes.
Okay, and at that time attacks was still in the pipeline. I couldn't deliver it in 2 years. Attacks was later. It was a project in the pipeline.
Yeah.
So you see, all this is feasible. and that is where I feel that this is the way to go forward. So, and we have to cater for it. Your view on this, otherwise we can take the next.
Yeah. So let's go ahead, Shankar.
Yeah.
Completely fully in agreement.
Now, there's a tweet which I saw yesterday, which is very interesting, in which the Ukrainians flew drones
Yeah.
and hit a Soviet airfield. And what did they hit in the airfield? They hit uh, all the
Fast
aircraft which were
aircraft. Yeah.
parked. Yeah. Okay. The Russians have also done the same thing to Ukraine. So when you analyze this, you see that are we putting too much onto our aircraft or not? Is there something else we have to do? Is of course your air defense has to come in. There's no doubt about it. But uh, it also tells you, if you analyze the Russia-Ukraine war in
Yeah.
the past 1 year, the utility of air force has gone down.
Hmm.
So, if the utility of Air Force has gone down, and the fact that even your F-35, the stealth bomber, got hit because of the heat you
Yeah.
can't, right? So, you have to rethink your entire story about fifth generation, sixth generation, tenth
Right.
generation aircraft, and say, can you go back to basics? So, I think even that is in order, right? A rethink of this whole thing. That's why I said, let the Air Force give the best solution,
Right.
right? And fine, and just operating 4.5 version, this is a 4.5 generation Rafale is not a bad deal at this point of time. We are okay, right? Only thing is we need to change certain thinking, but I'll touch on that.